Here are the top stories of the news. Federal government intensifies security operations across North Central amid spate of terrorist attacks. Vice President Kashim Shettima arrives at Addis Ababa for African Union Summit. And on the foreign scene, Bangladesh Nationalist Party claims a victory in first elections held since deadly 2024 uprising. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. I am Femi Ojo. The federal government has intensified security operations across Nigeria's North Central region following terrorist attacks that left about 75 villagers dead in Kwara State. The renewed offensive, codenamed Operation Savannah Shield, involves the deployment of military personnel, police units, and National Forest Guards to reinforce security in vulnerable communities. This was disclosed in a statement on Thursday by the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, adding that the government is committed to protecting the lives of its citizens. The operation is backed by enhanced intelligence gathering and rapid response protocols. The latest measures fall under the expanded security mandate declared by President Bola Tinubu, who had proclaimed a state of emergency on national security on November 26. Meanwhile, a 12-year-old pupil has been abducted in the challenge area of Ibadan, Oyo State capital, in the early hours of Thursday. The incident was confirmed by the Oyo State Police Command, which said the girl was allegedly kidnapped while on her way to school. In a statement signed by the State Police Public Relations Officer Anyola Diolayinka, the pupil was abducted at about 7:20 a.m. as she alighted from a vehicle that conveyed her to school at a junction leading to the school premises. The command disclosed that the matter was promptly reported to the police and that detectives were immediately deployed to the scene for preliminary assessment and fact-finding. Meanwhile, the Commissioner of Police has ordered a comprehensive and intelligence-driven investigation into the incident. Leaders across Nigeria have urged nations to prioritize young individuals for top governance roles, citing their energy, mental sharpness, and capacity to meet the demands of leadership. The call was made on Thursday at a memorial lecture and leadership conference organized by the Murtala Mohammed Foundation to mark the 50th anniversary of the assassination of the late head of state, General Murtala Mohammed. Leading the park was former President Goodluck Jonathan, who called on African nations to prioritize individuals aged 25 to 50 for top governance positions, citing their superior physical strength, mental sharpness, and ability to endure the intense demands of leadership. He urged a further reduction in age barriers for political office, building on Nigeria's existing not too young to run reforms. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo also spoke at the event, reflecting on leadership succession in Africa. On his part, former Vice President Yemi Osinbajo addressed the leadership values and Africa's growing influence on the global stage. The Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido, also emphasized the importance of restoring dignity and pride in Africa. In the meantime, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has told the National Assembly that it requires 873.78 billion naira to conduct the 2027 general elections, even as it seeks 171 billion naira to fund its operations in the 2026 fiscal year. INEC Chairman Joash Amokpito made the disclosure while presenting the Commission's 2026 budget proposal and the projected cost for the 2027 general elections before the National Assembly Joint Committee on Electoral Matters in Abuja. According to Amokpito, the 73.78 billion naira election budget covers the full conduct of national polls in 2027, while the 171 billion naira is needed to support INEC's routine activities in 2026, including by-elections and off-season elections. The Senior Advocate of Nigeria said the proposed election budget does not include a fresh request from the National Youth Service Corps seeking increased allowances for corps members engaged as ad hoc staff during elections. He explained that although the details of specific line items were not exhaustively presented, the almost 1 trillion naira election budget is structured across 5 major components. He listed that 379.75 billion naira is for operational cost, 92.32 billion naira for administrative cost, 209.21 billion naira for technological cost, 154.91 billion naira for election capital cost, and 42.61 billion naira for miscellaneous expenses. In another development, the Senate has threatened to withhold approval of the 2026 budget proposal for the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation of upward release of funds to ministries, departments, and agencies, and the non-payment of contractors. The warning was issued by the Senate Committee on Finance during a budget defense session with the Accountant General of the Federation, Shamsuddin Ogunjimi. The committee, chaired by Senator Sani Musa, declined to consider the 2026 budget proposal, citing widespread complaints about inadequate releases in 2025 budget and outstanding liabilities carried over from 2024. Lawmakers expressed frustration over what they describe as poor budget implementation, which they said has hampered government operations and left contractors unpaid. According to the committee, over 2.2 trillion naira is owed to contractors, a situation senators describe as unacceptable. The committee noted that even security agencies have raised concerns about inadequate funding owing to poor releases. Moving on, the Minister of Works, Dave Umahi, has raised the alarm over the escalating vandalism of federal road infrastructure across the country, noting that his ministry recently arrested vandals removing cut eyes and electrical safety devices from the Third Mainland Bridge in Lagos. Umahi, who disclosed this during an interview, said a suspect were apprehended with the aid of closed-circuit television cameras installed on the bridge following a presidential directive. He explained that the devices, which are relief materials installed on road infrastructure worldwide to reduce pressure on bridges, have become targets for vandals seeking to sell them as scrap. The minister listed several major projects affected by the infrastructure theft, including the Second Niger Bridge, bridges in Jebba, and the Murtala Mohammed Bridge, where vandals remove expansion joints to melt for scrap metal. He further warned that continuous destruction of infrastructure will force the government into repeated repairs, draining resources meant for new projects.
The illegalities have a lot of consequences on our infrastructure. Just about 2 weeks back, we caught people, and that's the second time we are catching people removing the, cat eyes, electrical devices on Third Mainland Bridge. It is done all over the world, where you put relief, materials on our road infrastructure, to calm down, the pressure of, works while you're on that bridge. But thanks to Mr. President, who directed Minister of Works to introduce CCTV on our roads. And that's why we introduced CCTV on Third Mainland Bridge. And it was very easy for the police in Lagos to catch the vandals. And you look at Second Niger Bridge, you look at even in Jebba, and many other places where they go to remove the expansion joints. In Murtala Mohammed, the same thing. Expansion joint or bridges go to melt it. Take a look at the project everybody's talking about, Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano. Just go and look at the New Jersey, the median concrete barriers. People are destroying it, looking for tiny reinforcements. And the efforts they are putting, if they put it to do meaningful legal work, they will earn 10 times that amount. So it is our duty to please know that this infrastructure, if we do not protect it, then the execution, the repairs, we have to also be repeated. And that is not good for our society. This is very important, so I feel that it's important for Minister of Works to cry out and bring this thing to the knowledge of the public.
Now to judicial matters, Justice Obiora Egwatu has recused himself from 2 cases filed by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) against the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami. Justice Egwatu, who was recently resigned the cases by the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Justice Johnson O, said he decided to withdraw for personal reasons and in the interest of justice. 2 cases include the multi-billionaire asset forfeiture case concerning 57 properties and the 8.7 billion money laundering charges filed by the anti-graft agency against Malami, his wife, Asabe Bashir, and his son, Abdulaziz Malami. The development occurred shortly after the suit for the forfeiture of the 57 properties allegedly linked to Malami was called for mention. The cases were formerly before Justice Emeka Nwite, who sat as vacation judge during the Yuletide break. The Chief Judge had reassigned the cases to Justice Egwatu after the Christmas vacation sitting ended, with February 12 fixed for the civil case and February 16 for the money laundering case. Now to politics. Former Osun State Governor Olagunsoye Oyinlola says the People's Democratic Party (PDP) remains a very strong political platform in the state, notwithstanding the defection of the current governor Ademola Adeleke to the Accord Party. The former governor stated this while speaking at the stakeholders meeting of the party held in Osogbo on Thursday. The meeting was attended by the caretaker chairman and secretary of the party in the state, Tunde Tijani and Sheyi Bamidele, amongst others, but was shunned by all appointed and elected political office holders in the state. Addressing the gathering comprising members drawn from all the 30 local government areas, Oyinlola explained that the purpose of the meeting was to educate supporters and members of the party on the situation of things in the PDP, both at the national level and the state level. Also speaking, Osun PDP caretaker chairman Tunde Tijani rejected claims that the party had collapsed its structures into the Accord Party, saying the PDP stands family and has not colluded with the Accord, has been rumored. Rivers Governor Siminala Ifubara has dissolved the State Executive Council. The decision was announced on Thursday in a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Onwuka Nzeshi. According to the statement, the Governor directed all commissioners and special advisors to hand over to the permanent secretaries or the most senior officers in the respective ministries with immediate effect. The dissolution comes 48 hours after Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, confirmed reconciliation efforts aimed at resolving the protracted political crisis in the state. The minister said President Bola Tinubu met with key political actors from Rivers State, including Governor Fubara and his predecessor, in a renewed attempt to ease tensions arising from the past struggle in the oil-rich state. The closed-door meeting held at the presidential villa was also attended by other Rivers leaders. The intervention came amid an ongoing impeachment process initiated against Fubara by lawmakers loyal to Wike, the third such notice, which has since become the subject of litigation. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We will be right back after this break. Please stay with us.